Friends. Welcome back. But I did a whole video on my budget this week. It was actually awesome. Great budget video. But I used my camera. And using my camera, it recorded no sound. I was so excited to be back using my camera, but I have no way of knowing that the sound isn't working. So needless to say, I'm going to kind of go over it with you guys really quickly again. And then I was looking, like, the video wasn't, it was like it was an hour long. We didn't spend an hour, so I had to kind of whip out my phone again. Let's try to get it situated here, honey. So, I don't know. I should just stick to what I know, what works. If I'm a little crooked, I apologize. Okay. So we were in the week of March 30th through April 5th. This is what we end up making. We estimated rollover at 171. That's what we had. We estimated hair at 1100, and it ended up being 1535. We said nails 50. They ended up being 160. NoCo, I didn't have anything for NoCo. I didn't pay myself, and so hubby gave me 100, and it left me with 1966. These are the bills that we got paid. Our bill totals was 490, and in the original video, I'm so upset because it was so crystal clear and everything. I used this, I think I talked about this in my monthly budget. It was a game changer. Everything came in so seamlessly. All I had to do was just transfer everything over here. I did talk about that in the video. I gotta do better. I gotta just start testing it to make sure that it's working, I guess. So no need to be upset and cry over spilled milk. And then the biggest thing was we wanted to know what I was going to spend in, like, the bridal shower. I spent $288.69. And then over here, miscellaneous, this was the biggest thing. Let me kind of zoom in a little bit. I said that I wanted to spend $200 in miscellaneous. I spent $202.10. I just knew I was over that, but I was not. Food and grocery, we said $150. We came in at $245.93. Family, I said $150, but we came in at $288.69. I went a little more depth about how I came up with my new budget for the bridal shower, but that's neither here nor there. So we end up spending $736.72 in our envelopes. I did not use gas because I used my credit card, so I'll be paying it off later, so that was no need to do that. And then in cash savings, we put $51, so we now have a total of $227. And after subtracting all of this, it said that my rollover would be $687.70. And guess what? We were on the money at $685. There's just $1. It's probably some extra change, but what I actually have left over is $685. I guesstimated this week coming up for April the 6th through the 12th. $1,300 for hair, nails $150. This was a really good video, you guys. I started to just upload the video with no sound and talk through it, but I talked about so much I don't even know. Anyway, so a total that we should have this week would be $2,135. These are the bills that we're paying this week. ChatGPT, I guesstimated 8, Canva 15, Apple Music 1165, Ally 750, and State Farm 438. This is what we'll be paying. And then I probably will need gas this week, more so maybe the end of the week. And then this is my envelopes that I'm contributing to this week. Salon $150, food and grocery $175, miscellaneous $200, girls trip $50. And in my original video said I don't really have to pay on my girls trip, but it's just an extra payment so I can pay this down, and that I may or may not pay that. And so that total for all of the envelopes was $575. I said since I had quite a bit of money left over, I'll do 75 in my cash savings and 75 in my high yield savings, and that'll be 150. So we're going to see about that. And then all I did was plug in my categories from last week for the first week of April. So here was my totals for my categories last week. Bills, miscellaneous, food and grocery, and family and savings. So we didn't spend anything in NoCo last week. We didn't spend anything in salon, and no well, we did have a debt payout, but there's a star here because for some reason I keep including it to my bills, but it needs to be in the envelope section of my categories. And I think that's it. That is pretty much it. But of course, you know, I rambled a little bit, but that is it, you guys. I am so sorry about that. I will definitely check next time. Anyway, I will definitely check next time before continuing the video, because I do enjoy using the camera, but yeah, I just wasn't able to get it right. So I may just have to set up a different angle. I don't know, but that is it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sorry that this is so quick and not more in depth as we normally go to with the calculator and all that great stuff, but next week we will. If that video starts to work, I'll just upload it, but for right now, it's no sound. All right, thank you guys. Bye.